just getting here, taking you in. Taking the world in. You find yourself to be a buffalo. You open your eyes in a summer morning and hooves and horns, and you're lying on the grass on the edge of a grove, and you just spend all day nibbling a bit here, nibbling a bit there, you know. And as evening comes on, fireflies appear like stars among the trees. And you are full of wonder. A buffalo full of wonder. And during the late afternoon, it's rained a little, and you kind of enjoy that feeling on your hide and your face. And as you walk west, and you see there hoof prints with rain pools in them, and the pools reflect the stars as the night darkens. And suddenly you feel alone. And you don't really know what it is to be a buffalo, what it is to be here. Sometimes perhaps you dream you are human, and then you wonder if you're a human dreaming that you're a buffalo. And you like to feel your body, you don't remember, I don't know, it's sort of like it seems to be an eternal here, and life is huge, and the horizon is vast, and the stars and the pools are bright, and they're the footprints. You feel like these are the footprints of your ancestors, the ancient buffalo ancestors. And you sort of trot along following them, and gradually you start to move quicker, and like almost involuntarily you're feeling your body, and you move faster and faster, and the night darkens and stars light up the grasslands. And you see an old hut in front of you, and it appeals to you, and you can hear bagpipes coming out of it. And a didgeridoo. And it somehow seems extremely appealing, and you just can't help yourself, and you just rush towards it, and you can see there's a light inside, and perhaps a fire and warmth, and there's a lattice window, and you just jump for the window, your head, horns, and hooves all pass through, and your tail does not go through. Why doesn't your tail go through? So this is the famous koan of the buffalo. You pass through a lattice window, and your head, horns, and hooves all pass through, but your tail does not pass through. And now that we're in the spaciousness of Sesshin, every gesture we make, has a trail of stars behind it. Wave your hand, see the stars. Fireflies. Yeah. That is huge. People say vast, but that seems sort of chilly sometimes. It's like embracing and holds us. And you wonder about why your tail won't get through. And you visit your Zen teacher, and your Zen teacher says, well, And you're there with your horns until peering, trying to bow. And then the teacher says, well, I think you have to sit with that one. and so, you think, I don't know, it's like, what is that thing that the tail might go through? Sometimes you feel, wow, I get it. And then you rush into the Zen teacher, and you bend over and you bend your knees and you lift your hooves and you bow. And you go, and the Zen teacher says, it's a bit intellectual. You kind of agree, and you go back, and you sit on the cushion in the Zendo with other people. You don't see a lot of buffaloes in the Zendo. The Zen teacher seems to accept you, so that's right. And so you're sitting there, why won't my tail go through? Why won't my tail go through? Tail, tail, tail. And you're full of doubt, and like, maybe I don't know, I'll have to be reborn, I'll have to die and be reborn before I can get enlightened and find out about the tail, things like that. It doesn't seem quite right, and you can tell there's a certain sort of, it's not about that, somehow. And then perhaps, whether you're a buffalo or not, it's going to happen in this buffalo life, this life. The only one you have at the moment. Well, it's completely possible you'll have other ones, but it's not necessarily true that your conditions would be more propitious for awakening. So let's try being enlightened as a buffalo. And you think about stories about buffaloes. They're common, you sort of remember that, where somebody asked Jiao, where will you go? What will you do? What will happen when you die, Master? And Jiao says, I'll become a buffalo at the foot of the hill. And the student is kind of eager beaver, and says, I'll go with you, Master. And Jiao says, you'll have to bring some grass if you do. So, I'll want supplies. So you're meditating about the buffalo, and you realize, hang on, I'm the buffalo, I can't, I'm just going to meditate. It's a tail at some point. And the tail that won't go through. And then you think of the story about the man who dreamed he was a butterfly, and when he woke up, he was a man, but he didn't know if maybe he was a butterfly dreaming he was a man, and you're thinking that thing about maybe I'm a buffalo dreaming he's a tail, so your thinking is obviously getting confused at this stage. And they say Zen is not intellectual, so I won't do that. I'll just face it. And you sit with it and become, in a way, at peace. We might say that your doubt fulfills itself and falls away. And you realize, in my life something always doesn't go through, I need a really big truck to drive, and then my horn still stick out the window. And then there's this, regret of something I did. I was in love with someone and it went wrong, and I think it was probably my fault. All these things, you just start thinking about the tail that way. And you start thinking, all the missed opportunities, and you weep big buffalo tears, They run down your snout and in the hair and the face, down your neck. But they feel like real tears, and also it feels like some obstacle is being dissolved with the tears, And you realize, that story that big buffaloes shouldn't cry, it's not true. So you you don't really care about that sort of thing. You're starting to notice everything about your life and how splendid is the dawn, how huge is each day, and you can't get away from this hugeness. And the only way, if the hugeness makes you uncomfortable, you have to put yourself in a small pen and worry about whether your tail's gotten through or not. And but it's actually you spread your feet and move your heavy head around and shake off the tears, And then you realize, I'll be happy if I have to meditate just like this. And then you think, God, I've got to go in to the teacher and admit that I don't know why my tail can't get through. And then you realize, well, that's all right. What's wrong with that? And then it somehow comes to you, that's Buddha nature. Buffaloes have Buddha nature. Yeah, and even when their tail won't go through, they still have Buddha nature. So, and then you kind of leave, the session ends and you leave the meditation hall and you go out and you find friends. And every now and again, you sort of come on, you feel like there's more to get. And there's always more to get. And maybe that tail story is about that too. And then you feel like the tail is somehow a wonderful thing. Or the illumination of the starlight and the beauty in people's eyes is in that tail. That wonderful small thing. The one thing. Any piece of the universe, any piece of the tail is the whole buffalo, Any piece of the universe is the whole thing, So we'll leave the buffalo there, sort of happily, wandering through the prairies, chewing grass, and feeling pretty good about Zen, actually,